Hey everybody, welcome back to the Honored Ones podcast, the only podcast where we don't respect boundaries. That is a direct quote from BR. It was his idea, actually. He insisted, he actually would refuse to come on stream until I gave that intro and cited him. So there you go, BR. I hope you're
I'm being
satisfied.
framed, but welcome to the Honored Ones podcast, episode 18. I think that's the number. And today we have some interesting stuff to talk about. One, we're gonna do our usual JJK chapter little
Jerk off.
spiel. I wouldn't call it that, but sure,
I
our
would
little JJK chapter
jerk
discussion.
off,
And then
yes.
we're gonna get into some non-anime and manga related stuff because we're gonna be talking about after that Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness, or uh, a movie that's all visuals and no substance. And then we're gonna get to talking about that. So
Yeah,
I think that's
bro.
gonna be interesting.
Or as we've affectionately called this podcast episode, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Midness.
Yeah,
Um,
I agree.
all right, so let's start with this week's chapters. Or I guess chapter, basically all of Shonen Jump was on break last week, except for
Yeah,
the GOAT, Gege, and presumably others.
yeah. I mean, I think other people drop chapters, but like, I don't know. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
Um,
and I'm not gonna dedicate time to fucking Mashal, you know what I mean? Um, so overall, Hikari's got the best domain expansion
Shut up.
confirmed.
I'll,
Dude,
I will. Yeah.
RIP. The first thing I saw when I read the first couple pages of that chapter was, damn, BR's got his work cut out for him. I literally felt the hours of work you're gonna have to spend fucking writing this script out, dude. Like, my condolences to you, I guess.
Yeah. Appreciate it. Um.
What the fuck you mean
Yeah.
appreciate it, bro?
I mean, I appreciate the condolences. Like, I don't know, like, thank you. I accept them. I don't know. What do you say when somebody says my condolences? Like, thanks. Thank you. I
You
still
should.
need to do the thing.
You agree? Okay. Here I thought you were gonna say, nah, bro. It's just another day for good old BR.
No. This is probably the most difficult thing to explain in JJK. Partially because they don't play pachinko, so I have to like learn the rules of pachinko before I can understand this.
Ah, yes. Couldn't
Uh,
be me. Could not be me, bro. The second you're like, oh yeah, creams, do research, I'm like, nah, bro. I love spreading misinformation on the internet. You think I like doing research? If I didn't start then, I'm not gonna start now. Have you seen my Bleach videos?
unresearched. Wait. Yeah. Wait. Yeah. I don't know. What's the status on how we talk about those? Like we're I don't really you mentioned it like you said the Bleach video is like do I bounce off of that or like is that like I don't know.
What do you mean?
Anyways,
Whoa,
this
what you...
I was like I didn't know how far to go. I was like I didn't know how far to push it. The Bleach videos, I mean, because you were like I don't do research. Have you seen my Bleach videos? Like is that the go ahead to like hate or is that like half hate?
It's
I
like
don't know.
I'm trying to make my peace with it kind of hate.
No, I feel that. I feel that. Yeah, it is what it is. You live and you learn. You don't live in your research, apparently, though.
Uh,
But in any case, this chapter was confusing. I didn't understand it on first read. I don't understand it now. I'm not going to bother to try to understand it until like I know this fight is over, or probably until Hikari's done fighting. So for all those people waiting for my Hikari domain expansion explained video, that's waiting until I get all available information because I feel like we're not done. But anyways,
did y'all read the
um,
leaks for 184? Dude, how it's
no,
Thursday? Relax, bro. Like, come on.
no, I don't read chapters until Sunday.
I know, but also like it's literally not even it's not even leak day, bro. You're that's crazy.
Don't leaks come out the day before like
No, I
scans?
I mean it's not even fan scan day. You know what I mean? Like I'm not doing fucking leaks. I
Yeah.
feel like that's shaking hands with a third person who shook hands with a person who didn't wash their hands.
I don't know how the math on that correlates, but sure. If reading fan scans means you don't wash your hands, then I'm all for it. But yeah. Anyways, I don't really have a lot of like commentary on this chapter because it's sort of like this chapter was so technical that if you don't understand the actual technical aspects of the ability, you don't have much to say. Like, there's not just some basic raw shit in here, like how there was in the previous chapter where Hikari was just throwing hands. Like, dude, this is just like I was just thrown into the deep end and told to swim. That's how it feels, right? I've never swam in my life. That's also part of the analogy. Um, and that's what Gege did, which I feel like props for creativity. But Hikari's domain also seems like it's kind of weak. Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm being blasphemous, but Hikari don't seem like you. If Hikari fighting somebody that's like stronger than him on normal terms, even if he opens his domain expansion, he might just get folded for real. Like, in all honesty, because the whole thing is he has to keep spam. He has to keep like just trying his luck, right? And obviously he uses skill to enhance his luck. Blah blah blah. I get it. I get the whole point of Hikari's character, right? But like, imagine, let's say he's like fighting, I don't know, Gojo or something, right? Horrible matchup. Let's say he's fighting Gojo, and he's like, I'm getting my ass beat. Let me open a domain expansion. It's not winning in the fight, right?
Yeah,
If
no, no.
Gojo was beating his ass before, he's beating his ass in the domain
Yeah,
too.
because I noticed that as well. Like Hikari gets no advantages in his own domain that are like immediately obvious, aside from like attempting to hit the jackpot. Like he still has to fight him the same way he did before
Yeah.
he unleashed the domain, right? Like he just has to survive the fucking beating. And in this
Yeah,
case, right,
it's
his
not even as strong as Higuruma's.
yeah, right. Like Higuruma gets to like hold them in place, and like no violence can occur. Like it's very much they have to follow the rules of your domain. But with Hikari's, it's like okay, first they got to download all the info of how the domain works. Then we
Mhm.
have to like basically
Then
have a
as I'm playing this game, we
yeah.
scrap. It's like what? Like, I don't know. I
And
just feel like
and
mm,
I wish they Gege expanded upon like what the hell a jackpot even is, like what it entails, right? From what
that's
I've
probably
seen,
next chapter.
yeah, because from what I've seen, right, or the way it's written, it's kind of like the end of the fight, like in the way he depicts it, but it just looked like a fucking strong kick. Like I'm not crazy, right?
Yeah. No, he didn't kill him. Charles is like essentially fine. He's got a bloody nose. He's got some chipped teeth. Charles won't like the fight is probably over because Charles's staff is broken. But like, Hikari didn't do absurd damage to Charles himself.
Yeah.
Um,
So my whole thing is like any kind of person who can even physically out surpass Hikari, like put fucking Maki or Toji in there, like how long is he lasting to hit that jackpot? You know what I mean?
and anybody like I said, if he ever uses the domain expansion as a last resort, if he doesn't get insanely lucky and win off the first one, maybe two, he's taking an L,
For real.
right? Sukuna gets in the domain. He doesn't even Sukuna doesn't have to open a domain in here. He'll just body him.
For
Gojo, just body him. Yuta, just body him. Like the thing is, I'm thinking that maybe a jackpot is like so powerful that like Yuta's like, oh yeah, when he's on a roll, he's like stronger than me, which is like I know there has to be something more to it than just like than what we've seen, which is why I'm hesitant to say I want to explain it or anything like that. Um, so yeah. Uh, Hikari is his domain expansion is certainly interesting conceptually. I don't think it's the most. It's definitely unique, but I don't think it's the most interesting ability by any means.
and
We'll see them.
I personally am a fan, a proponent of Hikari still being as strong as Gojo claimed. You know, I'm a Hikari believer, right?
Mhm.
I've converted, excuse me. But the only like reservation I still have is I want to see him go against somebody who no, actually this doesn't even just apply to Hikari. It applies to Higuruma or anybody with like a very technical always hit domain, not an always kill domain. I'm using. We already covered the semantics about like the definitions for each. I'm just using this as shorthand. You know what I'm talking about. They know what I'm talking about, right?
Sure.
Right. So for always hit domains, I wonder if like counter domains have the same effect as they do with always hit domains, like Wicker Basket, Toto's domain, counter or anti domain, that he did in the fight against Mahito. Do those translate? Like,
Uh,
or is it just you can't do a counter domain technique unless the domain is like meant to kill you? Like that's kind of a presupposed condition.
I mean, we know that a simple domain was made in the old times, right? It was made in the Heian period. And in old times, the primary form of domains were these like always hits. Um, like was these like condition almost game based domains, right?
Yeah.
So what would be the point of making simple domains in this era if they wouldn't work on these types of domains? I feel
Yeah.
like based on like the context and the lore, it makes sense that simple domains would work on the domains of their era. And does that make sense? Like simple
Yeah.
domains were constructed conceptually back in old sorcerer time,
Hmm?
and these domains were prominent in old sorcerer time. So it's very likely to say that simple domains work on these types of domain expansions. So far, the only ones we know they for sure don't is ones that don't have like the always hit technique, like Megumi's. Like because Megumi doesn't have a real barrier, he just like all the domain does for him is it strengthens his technique. Um,
Yeah, but I'm wondering, like, is it sorry, cough. Had to wait for it to come out. Is it the case with simple domains that like why doesn't every single person have one, right? Like why are domains even still considered a factor if counter domain techniques exist in any kind of fashion? Because if it
I
was
mean,
like,
simple domains are only passed through certain people. It's like a very exclusive thing.
which is
That's the reason you see it for like a very small amount.
which
They don't
is
want people.
weird, right? Like they're almost as rare as domains in a way.
I mean, it makes sense. Like, why would you want your opponents to possibly have an ability that counters domain? Like,
I mean,
there's no motivation for it. If I like if your bloodline came up with simple domains, right? And like you having that ability, you knowing that technique gives you a very distinct advantage in a world where power and the ability to fight is important. I now have leverage over all of my other rivals, right? Because if both of us get caught in a domain, I'm walking away a lot. You aren't, right?
mm,
That's a like that's an extra piece on the board, if you will, right? It's sort of like why Gojo has a lot of sway in the world of Jujutsu Kaisen because he can beat everybody's ass, right? He's a very powerful person who has he can spam domain expansion. He's a ridiculously powerful technique. He's from a very like high class family. All of those things
his
play into his power.
hands are rated E for everyone. Like,
Exactly. So imagine you're an old sorcerer and you're like, I now the
oh, bro, you're
pinnacle
breaking
of
up
Jujutsu
so hard.
sorcery.
Say that all over again.
Am I?
Yeah.
So I was just saying, imagine you're a sorcerer that just discovered this ability or made up this ability that allows domains, the pinnacle of sorcery, to be completely useless against you, right?
Huh?
Now, if you give everybody that bargaining chip, then you no longer have that. You no longer have anything to bargain with. You no longer have that advantage, right? You no longer are much stronger in comparison to other people.
He's probably not using full power or coming with Hitansi kill. Once the jackpot hits, Hikari gets better odds and faster rolls. Source? Log, yeah, you probably have to beat Hikari before he starts racking up jackpots because he could potentially get to special grade level eventually. There's basically a timer on the fight. You know, I like the idea that like Hakari's on a roll thing is just so overpowered that when he is, hitting multiple jackpots, it's like by the third, fourth, fifth one, whatever, he's punching you like fucking with as much force as Gojo's blue or something crazy like that. Or red, I meant to say.
That'd be interesting.
Right?
We have to see. We have to see. Do are we thinking? I guess we're thinking it's like a physical amp. Then is that what we think jackpot is?
I mean, what else
Um,
could it be? Like, it can't be. Realistically, though, what it should be if we're going off of the text is with enough conditions fulfilled, you get the effectiveness of an always kill domain, right? And so whatever that big finishing move is becomes like, oh yeah, now you're just fucking dead. Like R.I.P. You know what I mean?
it's possible. Um, I don't know. Well, I guess we'll just have to wait and see.
Uh, fuck. Is that it? Are we done with JJK?
Yeah, I really don't think there was a lot to talk about with JJK.
I'm curious what
Um,
there is one thing, and I don't know if like how much time you want to commit to it, but it's something I want to talk about. The discourse surrounding Gege explaining complex techniques,
What about it?
all of it.
Um,
Thoughts?
like specific problem that people have? Like, okay, so like, because there's a lot of different ways to tackle it. So like,
So
what is the
the like
question? I guess
popular
more
grievance
specifically.
is that people get mad, not necessarily at these techniques being so intricate, but more so that Gege they feel doesn't adequately explain them, and because his explanations are subpar, they end up making the technique seem more complicated than it is.
Sure. I think it has happened. Uh, maybe 3 times in the entire series. So it is an issue. It's not something that doesn't happen. Um, but I don't think it's a prominent one. I think out of 180 plus chapters of JJK, he's done it maybe 3 times. Um, Kurara's technique, the constellation technique, Hikari's, and like projection sorcery. I think every other technique is like either complex enough to where it's conceptually hard to grasp, or it is like it's just people not like willing to put in a little bit of extra like investment to understand techniques that aren't just very simple and straightforward. I punch really hard, I run really fast, right?
Oh,
Um,
okay. Um, I guess, but he did explain a good chunk of Gojo's powers in like an off-panel like Q&A. So
sure.
there's also like he should have explained it in the text more instead of
He
like
did he in the introduction of Infinity, it's explained enough to where you can understand, in my opinion.
yeah, I'm
Like
I'm using
you
it
can
to make a larger point.
sure.
And excuse me. I would argue the case with Infinity is how he handled it best, right? How
I
what
mean, maybe I don't know what else people like the only ones I see people generally being confused on is Gojo's techniques, um, this Hikari domain projection sorcery and Kurara's technique. I've never seen anybody else, or at least I don't remember seeing other people complain about other techniques. Like, um,
mm,
are there any others where people are just generally confused? And they're like, "Wow, he said this in a very like weird, convoluted way." Because I
so
feel like when it's initially when infinity is initially explained, it is very simple. I feel like you now here's what I think people get confused, right?
mm,
I think they miss the forest for the trees because Gege likes to get super in depth. They think that you need that to understand the technique when you don't, right? They're like, oh, Gege brought in these like mathematicians in order to explain the concept of Gojo's technique. That means the technique is poorly like explained if you have to do that. You don't have to do that, dude. He Gojo explains it in like 2 panels, right? He it is very simple, right?
mm,
All Gojo says is like, what you did is you touched the infinity before us. I'm not stopping you. It's more like you're slowing down the closer you get. That's all you need to know to understand his technique at a basic level, right? All you need to know as the viewer is, hey, what happens is people slow down until they slow down infinitely and they do not touch him unless Gojo wants to be touched. That's explained in 2 or 3 panels, and it's explained super simply, right? You don't need to know that hey, what Gojo's actually doing is he's like applying this scientific or this like this sort of the Achilles and the tortoise infinite number series thing that's like this debate in math and science, right? Where
mm.
if you split in a finite distance into infinite halves, like that's extra. That's the icing on top. That's not even icing. That's the sprinkles on the cake, right? But dude, you don't need to know that. Like Toji said it best when he was fighting Gojo, right? Toji was super simple. Like Toji gives like the most basic bare bones explanation that completely encapsulates the power to stop motion, the neutral limitless, the power to attract, the strength in limitless blue, the power to repel, the curse technique reversal red. Those 3 separate abilities that people like to say are super difficult to understand are explained in 3 panels, 1 panel each, and they're explained in a way that is perfectly consumable.
Mm.
I think people like to overcomplicate it because Gege gives you the ability to get super in depth, right? But you don't have to. Like that's a choice. If you as the viewer choose to get confused over an explanation that is extracurricular to the manga, you're an L. That's your fault. Like
Bro, just said
like
you're an L.
that's it. It's hey dude, like if you want to get confused because outside actual series, he scientifically, go ahead, dude. Go for it. I like I find it super interesting and I find it super engaging. It's not, I promise you it's not necessary at all to understanding. You want to know how Gojo's technique works? Gojo stop people so they don't touch him. That's it. Now you understand infinity. If you didn't
Or
before, now you get it.
you could just watch Broken Ronin explaining JJK
I mean,
techniques.
I mean that too. But for real, I think in general, people like to overcomplicate what Gege says.
Okay,
Like,
but counterpoint, Hikari's technique was actually like a little intense with the
no,
explanation.
sure. I
Like,
I said that in the beginning. Yeah,
yeah,
there's three times where I think Gege arguably fails to convey these techniques properly.
yeah,
Hikari, Kirara, and then like Naobito and Naoya.
yes. But my whole thing and the thing I want to come at this from is I think it's pretty neat, just a touch neat that in that same chapter, showing Hikari's technique made me understand how it worked more than the explanation at the beginning.
Sure. Wait, what's the point you're making here then?
The point that I'm making is that Gege seems like in the explanation he gets so hung up on the technical like aspects of it. Okay. There's like layers to this shit, right? There's two arguments for this. One, Gege just bad at explaining stuff like straight to the reader, right? That's the boring explanation. But it's more likely, but it's boring. The second explanation is that it's supposed to give you the same experience as Charles, in that he's
I mean,
getting
I
that
think that is,
explanation,
I think
right?
that's the purpose.
And for
Yeah.
him, it's just as complex. Or like as confusing. It's just as dense, and it throws him off in how he's fighting, right?
Yeah, I think I agree. Um, because like the whole point is like he's seeing into the future, so he's getting the knowledge of the technique preemptively. And even the first thing we see is like we're literally get an introspection into his brain and like how he sees it, right?
Yeah.
So you could argue that. I still think it is a very convoluted explanation. I still think it is a very confusing thing, and it's like I don't get mad at people for not getting this. I don't get mad at people for not initially getting projection sorcery, and I don't get mad at people for not initially getting Kurara's technique. All the like those three, and I know I'm not the fucking arbiter of like yeah reading comprehension or whatever, but personally I'm like yeah you guys get a pass. Like if you didn't get that on the first read, you get a pass. That's cool. Any other technique, I almost guarantee you're overcomplicating it. Like
Hmm.
Gege doesn't know how to explain the power system. No, bitch. You just don't want to read. You just don't want to like and that's cool. You don't have to want to read.
I
But you just don't
think
want to read.
I think for Japanese audiences who are more familiar with Penchiko, Hikari's technique is easier to digest. Probably. It could just be a cultural wall as well. And keep in mind, I think with things like Ricci and stuff like that, you can tell that really broke the ankles of a lot of fan translators in those chapters. Like just for fun, because I started reading officials. As you know, my medal
Mhm.
is in the mail. Don't worry. Um, I went back just to see how the translations, how the fan scans tried to go about explaining these rules. Illegible, incomprehensible, bro. Like Gege fully like took a lead pipe and broke their fucking ankles with those first 3 pages of that chapter.
Interesting. The fan skins at a real issue.
You didn't read it?
No, I don't read the fan scans.
Ugh.
You know I don't read fan scans.
You
Like
read
what?
them after the fact, after officials come out.
By the time I read fan skins, they've already changed it over to the official translation.
Oh, they do that?
Where I read them, they do.
Oh. I prefer some fan scans over others,
I mean, fair enough.
especially for
Um,
One Punch Man. There's like fragmentations in the fan scan communities. It's really funny.
fair.
Um,
but yeah, log. I think a general issue is people like to like I think unlike other series, Gege gives you the opportunity to get super in the weeds, right? If you want to get super in depth, you can. But I think these people misinterpret that to mean you have to be super in depth, right? It's like you're supposed to like they have this idea that like the only
It's the meme, bro. It's the JJK fights be like meme.
exactly, right? They think they have like no, dude. If you can consume JJK, you can see Gojo fights and understand blue means pull, red means push, infinity means stop, and you can get a very good grasp on how these fights play out.
Yeah.
You don't need rocket science to break down these abilities. You simply don't. If you want to confuse yourself with the rocket science, don't get mad because he presented you the opportunity to get it on a more like conceptual, mathematical, or like more like a sciency level, right? He gave you the easy version. He gave you the hard version. He said pick one. You pick the hard version. Like deal with the consequences of that.
Yeah, like stop reading JJK then, you know?
I also feel like at a certain point it's also a somewhat of a stylistic choice. Not a stylistic choice that people have to like, mind you.
Just one that
But just a
exists.
stylistic choice. Yeah, nonetheless.
All right.
Um,
So overall though, I'd give this chapter a solid 8.
uh, that's actually higher than I'd rate this chapter. I'm giving it like a 7 out of 10.
Whoa, hoot. Tables have fucking turned.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Never
sir.
thought I'd see this day that you'd become a JJK hater? Whoa.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah. Kind of a hater. Kind of a hater.
Dude, you're on a bad energy today. You know, first like the whole bad friend thing at the beginning of this call, and now this. Now you've
Yeah. I
changed,
mean,
man.
yeah, I am. I'm just a whole new person.
This is what no sleep does to a guy. Starts betraying his
No sleep.
friends.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sad days. It's tragic.
Anyways, moving from one pretty good thing to some below average quality thing. Are we making that transition? Is that what we
Yes.
doing?
Yeah, dude. Okay.
All
So
right.
let's break down this Doctor Strange thing into a few parts, right? Let's start off with our ratings cuz you've been teasing that yours dropped since you first saw it. So I want to hear yours. I'll give you mine and then we can get into like stuff like normally.
I'm thinking a I'm thinking a 6 out of 10. Maybe 5.5, but I'm thinking a six
Ooh.
out of ten
Ooh, okay, from
from a 7.
reasoning.
Not that coherent of a movie. A lot of things that don't make sense. A lot of like general inconsistencies with not just this movie, but the large like this movie brings up inconsistencies with the larger scope of the Marvel universe. Also, very dumb at times. Honestly, not, when we get into it, my score may go lower as I explain some of the things I didn't like, but we'll see.
Cuz
So far, it's like a 5.5 or 6.
I'm glad you brought this up cuz ever since you mentioned it, I was like it was like an earworm or some shit. And I was thinking about my score cuz I had it at a solid 7. But it's like
Hmm.
every time I thought back to the movie, I was like, man, did I even like it? Like there's just
Yeah, I
so
mean,
much that's just off the second you give it more than like 0.0000002 seconds of thought over it. You know?
yeah, I mean, it was definitely a fine movie.
It
It
was
is a fine movie in the moment. I
yeah,
just think when I think about it,
it just
it
gets
does not hold
worse.
up at
Yeah.
all.
Like let me bring you my biggest example right off the rip, right? The
Sure.
Illuminati. So, listen, man.
We jumping around, or what are like?
Yeah, I want to
Yeah, we can do
I just want to get on this point because I think it's like it's really where the movie shines in terms of all of its flaws because we can
that.
like
Okay.
tackle every aspect. Like it was to me, the sequence with the Illuminati is basically this movie. You know what I mean? It's
Okay.
a combination of a few things. One is fan service for the sake of fan service. Two, it's dumb power scaling that makes absolutely no sense when you sit down and think about it. Three, it's incoherent, inconsistent characterizations of characters and their traits. Four, it also doesn't make sense within the narrative of the movie. And five, as a just comic book thing, fucking made my blood boil. Um, yes, it was probably accurate to the comics, but I disagree with the decisions to make it. And look, can I just get like my comic book fan rant out of the way first?
Go ahead.
Okay, so this fucking thing with Black Bolt. Okay, listen. Reed Richards, man, I don't care what anybody fucking tells me. In the MCU, is not the smartest guy in his verse. I don't care. No smart person would do the shit he did in that scene because the second he was like, "Oh yeah, Black Bolt, yo, he could take you away with his voice," and the Black Bolt does that cringe ass fucking arm thing where he like folds his arms in like all cocky,
Mm. Yeah.
only for his mouth to be removed. I'm like, you not only mischaracterized Black Bolt, but you mischaracterized Mr. Fantastic on so many levels, dude. Like John Krasinski is a fun fan cast, but when you see him as Mr. Fantastic, you're like, oh yeah, this guy is not good for this role. He's just too upbeat, and too extroverted and a little too buff. Like Mr. Fantastic is a fucking nerd. All right, he's a fucking dork. All right, and his people skills are ass. Like his family, like they get the best of him, right? His kids, his wife, his Ben Grimm, Johnny Storm, they get the best of him, and even still, bro, the only people he can actually communicate with all the way are his daughter and his wife. And I'm giving him a lot. I'm being generous with that last one. So the fact that like Reed Richards in this movie was like that really rubbed me the wrong way. It was just like borderline offensive to me. And then with Black Bolt, it was like Black Bolt isn't even fucking cocky. Like he is basically a monk king. At the end of the day, like his whole characterization is that he is very much like dedicated to his people. He is doing everything he does for the Inhumans, for their safety, for their protection. And that includes training himself to put up psychic barriers so he doesn't even talk while he sleeps on accident. And they have him
Nice.
using his fucking voice willy-nilly. And here's a little fun fact, right? Here's a little feat for you on in the comics, right? It's stated and shown that Black Bolt's slightest whisper would destroy a city. So the fact that,
Nice.
and it can't be localized either, right? It's basically like a massive fucking nuke going off every time he opens his mouth. So it's like a big fucking deal when Black Lips, oh my god, when Black Bolt opens his lips to like make sound, right? Like that's a threat, right? And the fact that like the way they showed this power, the way they did everything about it, just drove me up the fucking wall. And I was seething a little bit over it. All right, sorry, just had to get that out of the way. Uh, Go on.
Yeah.
I'm
I
sorry,
mean,
gotta get it off my chest.
yeah, that's all good. I don't necessarily have the attachment to the comics, considering I don't really read comics surrounding any of these characters or read comics in general. But I do think Mr. Fantastic is a little bit stupid, a little bit dumb for giving away one of the abilities of their hardest hitter. I think, I think there are a lot of fundamental issues. I feel like they attempt to make Wanda into this sympathetic villain. They fail utterly. I think she was like an irredeemable, disgusting
Yes,
person as soon as
bro.
WandaVision ended.
Can
Uh,
can we talk about like how effective she was as a villain? That's so weird, right? She got more bodies than anybody not named Thanos. In all of the Marvel villains run, she was no joke the single biggest menace since Endgame.
probably.
Like unironically, like she was the amount of bodies she was catching, dude. Like the shit she did to the Illuminati was grimy.
I agree. Yeah, I think like so for everybody that's like some people in chat are disagreeing or whatever. Once you enslave a community of people and you then are not held accountable for your actions, you're a villain. an irredeemable villain. Like I don't.
Yes.
There's no justifiable reason. There's no she was mourning. There's like none of that. And the thing is, like people say she didn't know, but like that's not true. She didn't know. Like she
People
didn't know
no,
from the
actually,
beginning,
people will say that
but
it's
she
the
does
dark
know.
hold corrupting her, so she's not responsible for her actions. And I'm like, her goals were so specific to her. You know what I mean? The dark hold didn't make her go after her children.
It's not even that, right? It's not even like that's not the issue. Like the Darkhold itself as a plot device is fine, like on a as a concept, right? The issue is that the movie tries to portray Wanda as somebody who previous to the Darkhold had a semblance of like moral foundation, right? Pre Darkhold, she enslaved a town. Like she also like had people talking about like how much suffering they were going through during her like when she was like when she had the hex up, and she was like, no, you're happy, no, you're happy. It's like you're a psychopath, like you're evil, like unabashedly. I don't care about your reasoning, you're an evil person. For the sake of like enjoying your little fantasy land, you are enslaving other people, an entire town of people, like for your to just fulfill your own like like impossible twisted fantasies, right? And like on top of that, it didn't like you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but like didn't Wanda like have like all the children of the town like
Yes,
just
asleep.
in like their rooms or something away from their parents, like just
Yes,
without like that's
villain
crazy.
activity, bro. She okay. She was not only an effective villain, she was a scary ass villain. When you take a look at all the shit she actually did, what she committed to, like her actions, she is a demon. Like she's a monster.
Yeah.
Like empirically.
Yeah, and I like so I think she works as like a big scary antagonist, right? But I think the movie is trying to frame her as somebody that like we're supposed to have sympathy for. I don't have sympathy for her. I don't care
Like I'm
about her or
scared of
any of her.
her. Like
Yeah,
yeah.
she's a scary person. I don't hold any empathy for this character, right? I as a person cannot relate to the desire of wanting anything so much that I am willing to literally enslave other people and strip their free will from them and then run away and not deal with the consequences, right?
And
Because
then
like think about
go
it like
on a
this: at the
fucking
end of
massacre.
yeah, Doctor Strange is characterized really strangely in this movie, no pun intended.
Glad
Like
you heard it.
when when Doctor Strange pulls up to Wanda, right? And she's like, are you here about Westview?" He's like, "Nah, you put everything right." Huh? Like what? You have to you can't just I don't know, man. That broke my ankles because you cannot just see what she did and say it is okay. Like and you put everything right. No, this is an extremely dangerous, out of control supervillain with reality warping powers, right? You have to arrest her. You have to
You
restrain
have
her
to
in some
kill her,
like
bro. Like she's literally
something. Yes.
yeah.
She literally like because here's the thing, right? People will be like, "Oh, they're like they have their free will now." Dude, those people are permanently traumatized. Like I don't know how else to tell you.
They had
Like
her nightmares, bro.
yes. And
Like
like just imagine knowing, right, that one of like the previous Avengers, just this random superhuman at any point in time has the ability to just take your free will from you and you can do nothing to resist it.
yeah, bro.
That is a traumatic event.
The
And
Sokovia
then, okay,
Accords are not saving that one.
she can't do anything. She's too powerful. He doesn't even address the fact that he couldn't do anything. And here's the thing: Doctor Strange has gone up against entities much more powerful than him without like cowering in fear. Like, let's not forget in his first movie, he went up against Dormammu, like somebody that's slapping Wanda around. I feel like he literally ran up on Dormammu, like the entity that could
Yeah, and
that
like
mind you
outsmarted him, right?
killed
And
him
bro was putting
hundreds of thousands of times.
and dude was scrapping with Thanos 1v1 on Titan. Like when all the
Don't
other
even get me
uh,
started on the fact that Doctor Strange just decided not to
with
use like some
multiple
of his most
Infinity Stones,
powerful
bro.
spells.
With multiple
Yeah.
Infinity Stones. Oh my god. And the big thing is like I felt like he was somehow both depowered and overpowered. Like,
He was depowered. It was so weird.
yeah, like
Look, there were so many abilities.
he was way weaker than I think we've seen him depicted before, but he was still like shown to be fully capable, if that makes sense. Like to
Yeah, he's not like he's. It's not like he's nerfed, right? It's not like he's like, oh, he's like, he's been injured. It's like, dude, okay, so many different things. She slapped Thanos too. No, she didn't. That's not
and that's
true.
without Infinity Stones, by the way. I just want to point that out.
Yeah. Here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. There are so many. Let's walk through some of the things that that Doctor Strange we know he can do, right? One, he can literally he could have done this from the start. Opened a portal to Titan and sent Wanda there. Just leave her there. She's never shown the ability to teleport. She can fly, but she's never shown intergalactic space travel to the point where she'd be a threat. Literally, like, do y'all understand how broken portals are? If he opens a portal like that, she's gone. She disappears. Movie over.
Yeah, and also, where the fuck were the moves he was pulling against Thanos? Right?
Yeah, he transmutes things into butterflies.
Yeah,
He's like make
that was the
these like
reality
immense
stone,
amount of
by the way. That
clones.
was the fucking
Yeah.
reality stone doing that shit too. But Thanos hit him with like a mini black hole, and he was like, "Oh, I got this. I know what to do."
Also, what was up with the mirror dimension being able to be broken, bruh? What was up with that?
What was up
What
with,
was up with that?
dude? There was like so much shit in this movie that I was like, "How'd she do that?" You know, like I, the coolest
Another,
sequence that like
yeah.
I think like where the movie peaked in terms of like power scaling appropriately, just to show like how creepy Wanda was, or like how she got around Strange's experience, was the thing with the reflections. I was like, oh, that's smart. That's like a good way to get around this kind of trap if you're, the fucking Scarlet Witch. But then after that, it was very much like Strange is just running away. Like he's fully just running away.
It's there's so many things that are just like he just makes so many very stupid decisions in regard to his power. He literally can he can open a portal. Like I'm stuck on this portal point because of how overpowered it is. We know he can open portals to like like completely different places in the universe, right?
Mm?
He could quite literally open a portal from Earth to Titan, and she's gone.
He can open up a portal to a black hole, and that would be the end.
Exactly. And let's say you're like, no, Wanda's just too powerful. Wanda's just too powerful. She's a reality warper. Dude, if she is so overpowering or whatever, right? Like then she should have won earlier in the like I'm saying it's one or the other, right? Either Strange should have just won instantly by using his brain and using portals, or Wanda should have just reality warped Strange to have no hands, or any of the sorcerers to have any hands so they can't cast spells, and then she just beats him. She took a slingling on a different dimension. She did okay. What I'm saying is, as soon as he figured out that she was evil, Sling Ring portaled her off. There should have been no confrontation. There should have been no preparation. What should have happened is instant. As soon as she has identified herself as an enemy, right? Portal her away because she does not reality warp the Sling Ring immediately. She just doesn't do it immediately.
I fuck. I might actually drop the score of the movie now. Like the more we talk about it, the more I'm like really annoyed with a lot of the choices they made. Like, to be honest with you, I don't even see the point in rewatching this movie because like what am I missing? Like
Yeah.
it was such a like this movie was kind of pitched and kind of presented to be like Avengers 3.5 or like a Civil War type of movie, like in terms of scale, right? Like
Hmm.
basically keeping up the energy from Spider-Man No Way Home, but it was definitely not that. It was like three people, two A-listers and all C-listers. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
just
And I mean, I'm fine with it not being a super big movie.
I know,
The
but
issue is it's
like
just not like it's
it
just
was
not that.
like kind of reality shattering in a way. Like
Yeah, the stakes are the high. What's crazy is the stakes were the highest they've ever been, but it didn't feel like that.
like
Because think about it like this: the stakes in this movie are higher than Endgame. They're higher than Infinity War. They're higher than No Way Home. because this doesn't just deal with the
Yeah,
universe. This deals with
multiple
the
universes.
multiverse.
The
This is the
Scarlet Witch,
infinite.
bro.
This is the infinite multiverse that they said can be destroyed if Wanda gets her hands on America Chavez. The
Literally,
multiverse could be destroyed, and this didn't feel that big in terms of
yes, it
stakes.
was
I
like
didn't.
shit. There needs to be more people on this. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Like,
It's
like,
like, exactly. Okay, why also the multiverse is at stake? Doctor Strange. Why are you not calling Mrs. Marvel? Why are you not calling Spider-Man? Because he doesn't even have to know Spider-Man. He knows he exists. Call him up, bro.
yeah,
You
dude.
call every hero you know up.
Yeah, dude. If I was like, oh, yeah, guys, the multiverse is at stake, and I have the Hulk on speed dial, who do you think I'm gonna fucking be like? Oh no, I have to do this myself. Fuck no. Just
It
and then
and here's the thing. Also, like, uh, whatever.
no,
It's a very inconsistent, incoherent movie at times.
dude.
Um,
Literally, the whole Black Bolt can destroy you with a single thing of his voice. The smartest man in the universe, huh? The smartest man, right there, guys. Like, what was that?
yeah.
Also, the biggest pet peeve I had, by the way, now that just because you reminded me of all this, do you remember at the beginning of the Illuminati scene where they were like, "The Wanda isn't the problem, you're the problem, Strange." I kind of said to
Yeah.
myself and almost out loud, "No, bro, she's the problem. She's the
Yeah.
threat. What is wrong with you?"
Yeah, I get what they're going for. They're like in every universe, you need to have your hand on the knife. Like it's like I get it. Like, dude, y'all can kill Doctor Strange easy.
Yeah, right.
Y'all not do like want clearly you guys weren't equipped to handle
Dude,
Wanda. Like
what the fuck was Reed Richards gonna do with his stretchy ass arm? Like his half-ass limp-dicked stretch all the way to her at point blank range, bro. That was so pathetic, right? He was just like
Yeah.
stretching out his hand at like fucking 2 miles per hour at her. Like, no shit, she killed him the way she did.
Yeah. Bad, incoherent. I feel like the movie just kind of like flops around in terms of power, in terms of like
Story, like
in terms of story. Like
on
a
it,
lot of the things like America Chavez, like
she was cool.
uh, I didn't I feel like she's just a non-character. I feel like she's a non-character, very one-dimensional. Her backstory is hilarious
It
and it's
was
not
so
meant to be.
funny. It was so fuck. I actually, dude, I'm glad you said that because when they showed the clip, I actually laughed out loud and was fucking awkward because I was like, are we not supposed to laugh at that? They just got like,
Yeah.
like
Yeah, they got absorbed into a different dimension because you got scared of a bee. Like I'm like, yo, that's crazy.
that's fucking
There's also a
funny.
lot of like super crazy contrivances as well. There's a lot of stuff, man. There's a
Yeah,
lot of stuff that like doesn't make sense in the overarching. Uh, it's just I wasn't a fan of this movie. It looked nice though.
yeah, it was, and I really liked Sam Raimi's visual direction. Oh, there is two other things I liked. One was Wong. Definitely my favorite character in the movie. I fucking love Wong's like humor and interaction and like dedication to his sorcerer supreme job. So I really fuck with Wong. Um,
Yeah, Wong's cool.
I want to know what you thought of all the fan service vis-a-vis like Illuminati and stuff.
I don't care about the Illuminati.
No, I
That's
mean
not
like fan like okay, seeing Reed Richards for the first time, seeing fucking Charles Xavier.
none of that hit the way I think it was supposed to for me. I did not care.
Bro, you don't fuck with
Uh,
mr.fantastic? What?
I've never consumed good Mr. Fantastic. Like I've never seen him
You've
in media
never
that I've liked.
seen the Fantastic Four?
No, no, not. I said in media that I've liked.
Oh, damn. I love Mr. Fantastic. He's such a bad father. It's my
That is weird. That's a weird way to. I love the character. He's a bad father.
Yeah,
All right,
because
all
he
right.
doesn't mean to be, which is why he's like so like funny to me. Like Gene Freaks, objectively bad father, right? But he knows he is, and that's why he bailed. If Gon was my kid, I'd bail too. I don't begrudge that against him, right? But when it comes to Reed Richards, bro is just he just doesn't fucking like his kids don't pass the vibe check to him. Like it's the funniest thing. Like he fucks with his daughter because she's like as smart as him, but even still, like when it comes to his son, he's just like, oh shit, my son is God. That's kind of poggers, I guess. All right, see you later, son. And that was it. Like he just doesn't hang out with him. It's really funny.
His son is. I'm gonna let that lie.
Yeah, dude, Franklin Richards is low key God. Like his powers are fucking wild.
Interesting.
Like during one of the
Yes.
stories, like Galactus becomes his herald. I love Franklin Richards. The guy created like he actually created a small universe in his bedroom when he was 8 years old.
Shit, I did it when I was 7, so it's
Yeah,
not really that cool.
but like Franklin's like I think my favorite Fantastic Four character after Johnny.
Interesting.
But
Yeah, I
Reed
mean the
Reed
cameos didn't do anything for me personally.
I love that Reed doesn't give a shit. It's just I'm sorry I can't get over it. It's like oh what son that's crazy. You fucking multiversal threat over here. It's basically gonna be like there's this I think I'm giving you reading recommendations now for comic books. Fuck it. There's this one storyline, right, where it's Franklin and Galactus at the end of time, and they basically reflect on how they're going to be there at the beginning and at the end of the next universe, and it'll always be the two of them at the end of the day. It was just I love their dynamic. Franklin's the fucking best.
Franklin and Galactus as in like the planet eating thing.
Yeah, you know,
So the human kid and the planet eating creature are
bro.
homies.
Franklin is closer to a god than he is human. I'm just being honest with you. Like calling Franklin human is very like he's something.
He definitely is. I mean, I don't know anything about him. I just assumed he's human because he's a
He
human's child.
yeah. I mean, you'd think, right? Shoot.
Kind of confused as to how you even make that, but
Basically, he
um,
was just kind of born. He was built different. Like he was just born like that.
gotcha. He's just like me for real.
Yeah, bro. Man, I love older Fantastic Four stories. They're the best. I hate modern comics. I just like after this movie, I kind of walked out and I was like, man, comic books suck now. Like none of these stories fucking hit the same. They don't have that same kind of like cool factor, world building, like character moments. They just all fucking shit now and it's like oversaturated, inconsistent garbage. And it's disappointing to say that because like I've been a lifelong, excuse me, comic book fan, so it like breaks my heart to feel this way, you know?
I feel that. I get it. I'm I don't know, man. I feel like do I need to just stop talking about this movie because like every word I utter about this series, or not this series, but this movie in particular, simply makes me like it less.
Spit. I said spit.
Oh yeah, true. I am spitting. I never miss. Um,
Uh, Dude, how long have we been streaming?
hour and 20 minutes or something like that. No, hour and 10 minutes, something like that.
Damn, why does it feel longer? I'm not crazy, right? It feels longer for you too?
Because we're tired. Because we're tired
Not
and out
all.
of content.
Yes, and also this movie is draining.
Yeah, this movie's bad. Anybody good like
Also, yeah,
anybody got a defense for the
chat
movie?
has not been popping off. I think they're tired too. I remember last stream we did, I think it was on Sunday, like the first one. We had like
Mhm.
fucking 30, 40 concurrent viewers at our peak.
Yeah,
So I
but
guess the vibe's just down right now. He got amped while he was in Sue Storm's womb by a cosmic control rod. Devil's Arrow knows this shit. Because y'all talking about mid for real. Yo, Doofy, you saw it too? What'd you think?
no, bro, he didn't see it.
What? Then how does he know about mid? Doofy, you're making mid allegations right now that you can't
Bro,
substantiate.
do you listen? Do you not understand the hater mindset? Hate, hate. If you haven't seen it, hate. If you have seen it, 8. If you don't like it, 8. If you do like it, 8. Come on now.
No,
Come
MCU
on.
films are mid. So I was talking to one of my friends about this, um, and how do you guys feel about Phase 4? I think I'm gonna answer it within this thing. And I asked him if he wanted to go see Eternals with me, right? And he said no. And I was like, oh, I didn't realize I gave you that option. My bad. Let me fix that real quick. We're going to see Eternals. And he was like, no, 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 no. And I was like, okay, why? And he was like, I feel like after Endgame, the MCU is over, and I want to spend my time looking at new stories, supporting things that I think are just doing more interesting shit than like the fucking copy paste lowest common denominator strategy that Marvel employs. And I'm like, example, and he's like, well, look at Dune, right? Dune was like a very like new piece of work. It adapted a very different piece of fiction, and it was done masterfully. And I was like, oh shit, that he's kind of spitting for real. And I am getting Discord notifications that I don't know how to mute, and I'm too lazy to look
Nice.
up right now, so I'm just gonna open it on my phone so it doesn't make the sound. Anyway, basically, man, oh my god, Doofy clipped it. Hold on. Let's see what. Let's see it.
Dude, I'm spitting. Do you not understand the hater mindset? Dude, I'm spitting. Like, I, I like low key, no high key. I might be a genius for real.
Doofy, you
Cause,
know,
dude, that's such a fire clip.
you've been producing a bit of them. Yo, Doofy, if you want to clip some really heinous shit, you have like another 20 minutes to go back to the beginning of this stream and clip that because we said some wild shit. We said some wild shit.
No,
Broken
no,
Ronin
no, no,
and
no,
me. But if you want to
no,
clip
no.
that and submit it to a court of law, we support you.
To answer phase 4, dude, this shit's been kind of ass.
Yeah, okay, but what
Uh,
did you think of his thesis? I'm curious if
The
you're in
thesis
this
of what? The
my,
thesis of like MCU being dead and over.
yeah, and like wanting to put
Uh,
your energies towards like consuming shit that's like actually doing something new, etc.
I don't watch movies in general. I watch MCU movies because people around me like watching MCU movies, so I get dragged into watching them.
Bro
I've
really said
I'm
I have divine taste by default. Crazy for that one.
Yeah. Um, but like I'm not a big movie guy.
Your movies are fucking mid. They're the worst medium. Fight me.
I mean, you kind of spin, I feel like.
Yeah,
Um,
when I tweeted that, the amount of fucking backlash that like were in my replies, it wasn't like anything crazy, but it was just more than I anticipated. Like I genuinely hate people who like film. Like not hate, but like I don't get you guys. Like you have abandonment issues. Like you're not only bitchless, but you're fatherless if movies are your preferred medium. That's how I feel about you. No offense.
for me, I don't think I have an inherent distaste of movies. I think what it is like I'm caught in this like catch 22, right? So like I don't watch movies because I haven't seen very many good movies, and I haven't seen very many good movies, so I have no interest to continue watching the medium, and because of that, I never watch good movies. So it's just like this weird loop. So because I don't watch good movies, I don't want to watch movies in general, and because I don't watch movies in general, I don't watch good movies. It's just
But
like
it's also
so I
like
just don't end up watching them at all,
I don't
like
want
in
to.
general, I guess.
I just want to get attached to characters that I don't know for very long, and that I'm never gonna like see do anything beyond the scope of this movie. You know what I mean? Like if I watch a single like non-franchise movie, non-sequel movie, just a pure one and go movie, what do I do with that? You know what I mean? Like I can't build anything there. I like it's hard for me to, especially if the movie's plot is around the characters doing character shit. I'm like, no, dude, I'm just not going to invest in it. Like that's kind of unfair of you to ask me. Like I met these people an hour ago. You know what I mean? Like if I was to put it like that, and
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
I don't know. It doesn't have the same intimacy as like reading a book where you get perspectives of like internal monologues. You get to visually like it's harder like to explain because you could say it's like because movies are also a visual medium, but like there's something about like drawing something or like drawing a particular emotion that like very clearly gets across how this character experiences what they're experiencing, how you're supposed to take it in, how you're supposed to consume it, how you're supposed to feel. That I just think a lot of its subtleties get lost in movies because of the runtime, the editing, all the shit that has to go into it. And it's like, for me, I think it's harder to make a good movie than it is to make a good manga. And I just think people fumble the bag with that.
Uh, I don't know. I mean, I feel like I would say that, but then I read like one volume manga, and I'm like, damn, that was a pretty good series. So I can't speak towards like short manga or like short running series where like the characters don't stick with me for very long, not working. I think the thing is, so here's the thing. I always say I like novels more than manga, anime, movies, video games, all TV shows, all that different shit, right? And like that's true, but I think the thing is, it's not that I think novels are inherently a better medium because I think other things can do what novels can do, but then do more. I think what it is just it's sort of like a favorite story thing. So like the reason I have manga above movies is not because I think manga is like inherently a stronger medium or a better medium to communicate a story. The series that I just happened to get the most attached to happened to be a manga. And the reason I have novels above that is because my favorite series
Is a
happens to be a
novel,
novel.
yeah.
Yeah. So if Percy Jackson was a manga, like and it was the same I enjoyed it the same, I'd say manga greater than everything else. It's not though. It's a novel. That's how it happened to be. So that's why even though I have movies as my bottom one medium, I don't think it's something inherent to the medium of movies. I think it's just a matter of I've consumed a very small amount. Therefore, it is very unlikely for me to consume a movie that I will enjoy as much as like my favorite manga or even like a high tier manga for me because like how many like non MCU movies have I seen? Probably not that many. Because I just don't watch that many movies like in general. I'm just not a movie goer. Um so and it's funny because I thought like I was like maybe like I only liked novels because I liked Percy Jackson. Like maybe I was being carried by nostalgia, right? So I just read this I ordered this novel the other day just to see if I can read, bro. See if I had reading comprehension. I have reading comprehension. It was pretty good. Um novels are novels are weird. They are probably the most difficult to get
They're so
into. Like it
exhausting,
is
but they're so fun.
it's very difficult to like immerse yourself in a novel when we live in an age of instant gratification of flashing lights, quick movement, sounds, all this other like sense stimulus, right? But
Yeah,
like
bro.
sitting down in silence and reading a novel is like very difficult to do. But once you do it, I think it's like it's probably one of the most engaging ones. Like like manga, movies, anime, super easy to get into because they stimulate you on an auditory and a visual level, right? And even like on it like so I'm getting like with an anime, right? For example,
Mm?
I'm seeing the animation, I'm then reading the subtitles, and then I'm hearing the characters.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, dude,
two
it's
of my
like
senses are getting activated, but it's several layers of immersion I have to get myself
yeah, it's
into.
like there's the music of like the background music, there's sound of their dialogue,
Mhm.
excuse me, there's the visuals of the animation of like uh, uh what do you call it, of
The
colors,
subtitles.
yeah.
There's color. There's all these different things that like instantly grab your attention, and that's why I
Like
think movies are probably like you. If like someone drags me to a movie theater and it's like watch this movie with me, I'll watch this movie with you, and I probably will enjoy that movie with you.
but I'll never
The
think
thing
about
is
it ever
just
again.
the for me the idea of going to the movies is troublesome. It's
It's
like a hassle.
exhausting.
It is
It's
like
yeah.
it's just like I don't
They're
want
plans, bro. They're
yeah
plans.
I don't want to go out of my way to watch a movie, but I'm gonna be honest. You put on like a good movie in front of me. It's not like I'm like, dude, because it's a movie, I don't like it. It's just like it's sort of like one of those things where it's like I don't want to put in the effort to find a movie, right?
Yeah.
But getting immersed into a movie, I feel like is easy.
Like, yeah, like I think the best way to consume movies for me have always been when other people are watching them, or if I'm just like flipping through channels and I'm like, 20, 30 minutes into a movie that's already started. I'm like, okay, this feels like more comfortable to get in. It's like movies are intimidating. That's what it is. That's what it feels like. Movies are just intimidating to get in because you feel all of this, like, you feel this weight to them that I don't think applies to any other medium, right? Like when you even when
Yeah.
you pick up a book, like a 700-page monster, bro, like
Movies
it's
demand they
more.
demand your attention in one sitting. So
Yeah.
like that's the difference between like a video game I can pick up and put down at any time.
Same with a
I
book.
hit
Yeah, right.
save,
There are
I'm done.
chapters.
A book, yeah, you put it down like you sure you have chapters, but those chapters are probably not going to take you 2 hours to get through. For a manga, even less time. For an anime, 20 minutes. But for a movie, you're typically committing to an hour and a half, 2 hours of sitting still and watching a movie. So the
Yeah.
thought of doing that is like
And like
and the thing is, I'll probably like if I open a manga and I'm like really invested, I'll probably read it for 2 hours. But the fact that I can stop at any time makes it easier to pick up than a movie. Whereas if I stop a movie midway through, that's weird. I'd have to rewatch the movie in order to like. It's just a weird. It's not even a problem of the medium. It's just like I just
cuz
sometimes
yeah,
committing to
cuz
2 hours of seeing something is not something I want
cuz
to
you literally can't
necessarily do.
like piecemeal a movie. It's just the wrong way to consume it. With a TV
Yeah.
show, it's like, oh yeah, we give you 22 minutes, we give you 40 minutes, and then you're out of here, right?
Yeah.
And
You
then
can watch more, but you don't have to.
yeah, same with a book. We literally have bookmarks. Like
Yeah.
if that isn't a clear indication that you can go at your own pace, then I and then manga
Then what
chapters,
is, right?
yeah, like, and manga chapters are like 20 pages max, and you're gonna skate by them in like 2 minutes. So
Yeah.
with movies, it definitely feels like there's this giant wall that on one hand could have, and that's another thing, right? It's like if you do commit yourself to putting in the time investment, you then have to gamble with, like, what if this movie sucks? Like, it would be like scaling an insurmountable wall just on the promise that on the other side is this beautiful lush garden that you can just like fully enjoy to your heart's content, but instead you get a fucking wasteland, bro. You get Attack on Titan in reverse.
Yeah. I mean, Attack on Titan itself is a wasteland, but
Fuck yeah.
anyways, what was I saying? Yeah, I think
Spit.
the thing is like so whenever I rank mediums, it's never anything inherent to the medium. A movie has the potential to be better than any novel. A novel has the potential to be better than any movie. A manga has the potential to be better than all of them. Blah blah blah. It's just my preferred way of consuming things. Committing to a movie is a bigger commitment than committing to reading a chapter of a manga, of a novel, or all these different things.
Yeah.
I also
Um
think for me with novels, I have a very vivid imagination, so I feel like they appeal
so
to.
on the novels note, Doofy just kind of
Mm,
summed up exactly my feelings towards novels. So I'm just gonna read it, and it's gonna be me
mm,
co-signing the statement, right?
okay.
I think when I get into a really good novel, there is nothing like it, but it's becoming more and more difficult for me to do it. 100% of my attention span has been shot over the past decade or so. Even to maintain my studies has become difficult because of all the short form content out there. Spit for real. Especially that first one. Like, when it comes to a novel, I'm like, I know I'm going to like it. I know I'm going to enjoy, like, the process of consuming it. But damn, dude, if it isn't just hard to be like, okay, you're going to sit in silence with nothing but your own thoughts and these words for, like, 1 or 2 hours, I'm like, that's a bit of a tall order, if you ask me. That's not exactly a great. That's not a great pitch.
Yeah.
And that's just kind of where I'm
I,
at right
I
now.
I mean, I feel like
Like, bro, I
yeah.
got I got like monkey brain. Like, I just like, ooh, pretty pictures, please show me. I feel like I'm a kid again. When it comes to like binge reading manga, because I could read that like all fucking day, right? But when it comes to like picking up a book and it's nothing but words, I'm like, shit. What if I accidentally think right now?
Huh. Yeah. Um,
Can't have thoughts.
dude, I don't know. I just novels are like sit me down, give me a pair of headphones. Let me put on some music. I'm in the novel, like assuming the novel's quality, I'm getting into that fucking novel. Speaking of which, I want to get into more light novels. I read not recently, it was a while ago, but I read The Classroom of the Elite
Is that good?
novel. Dude, holy shit, I like that so much. I have it a 10 out of 10 personally. Um, Keep in mind though, it's a 10 out of 10 geared towards me because I like the type of protagonist that Ayana Koji is. So like I like the super duper smart, edgy protagonist, right? So Ayana Koji doing that well, he was bound to be a favorite of mine, right? So that 10 out of 10 is skewed towards my type of series. Into like Mushoku Tensei, I want to read because I've heard a lot of good things about that. Re Zero, I want to read the light novel for that. I want to read the light novel for Hyoka. I want to read the light novels for what's the Origairu. There's so many things that like have light novels that I've heard are just better than the anime, and I'm like, damn, I like the anime. Let me read that light novel for real. That's how it was with Classroom of the Elite. I liked the anime. I didn't see season two in the foreseeable future, and I was like, all right, I kind of got to see where this story goes. So I cracked open the light novel, and a couple days later, I was like a volumes of the light novel in. I was like, yeah,
Damn, how many
this is fucking.
pages is that?
I don't know. I didn't count.
But damn,
Um,
I feel like light novels are a good way to get back into reading regular books. As like if I had to put it up like on the Pokemon evolution chart, it would be manga, light novels, then regular novels. Right? I'm currently like I peak at light novels right now. That's like the ceiling of my power.
yeah, I like novels. Um, I think they are very fun. I think it's maybe I just like novels like inherently more, or maybe I just happen to have read really good novels, so the average light novel or the average novel scores is just higher for me than average everything else. But either way, I don't know. The fact that I have two novels being at like 10 out of 10s for me in terms of like overall score. I'm like, yeah, you kind of goaded. You kind of goaded.
Yeah, bro. I appreciate you giving that compliment to yourself. I
Huh.
really respect how you did it.
I mean, I wasn't saying I was good at. I meant novels as a medium. Um, I mean novels are kind of goaded. But anyways,
So,
another medium. Oh, hold on. What's up? What were you about to say?
another medium, what?
I was gonna say another medium that I like. I used to like, but I just completely fell out of love with is video games, bro. Video games do not hit for me anymore, and that's
Ugh.
kind of sad.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they just been sucking because of like all the weird shit that's going on in the industry.
Yeah, maybe.
I
I don't
mean,
know, man. I just remember I remember when I first got Skyrim. Oh God, I was I was a mess. I remember playing. I don't even want to say how many hours straight I played Skyrim actually, because that's just kind of embarrassing. But um, yeah, I played that a lot.
how
And now
was
I'm like,
Did you buy Elden Ring?
no. I
Reasoning?
don't buy video games. I don't buy video games anymore because I know I won't play them for very long.
Oh man,
Like I knew I was fucked when I bought Dying Light 2 and I played it. I was like,
yo,
I don't really care to play this.
what's your free time work time ratio
Uh,
out of 24 hours? Obviously,
does sleep count as part of my free time?
no. Fuck you, no,
No,
no.
bro. But sleep is like I'm not working though.
You're a monster. Go to sleep after
Wait,
this,
hold on, bro. Wait. I'm super confused. What's wrong with sleep? Me counting sleep as part of part of like not work? I feel like
bro.
that counts.
There are impressionable teenagers watching this. All right, they look up
No, no,
to
no. But I'm
you
actually
as a
confused, bro.
role model. How are you? Because sleep is important, dog. I don't want
I
you.
agree. Wait, hold on. I agree, bro. I'm an advocate for sleep. I fuck with sleep.
Okay. Okay.
I fuck with sleep heavy. Sleep just don't fuck with me like that anymore.
I don't like video games as a medium for telling narratives. L. But I love wasting time on FPS. L. Homie, I'm 16. See what I mean? See what I mean? You're a bad influence, BR.
Yeah, my
Okay,
bad, bro.
okay, but
Sleep.
fine. With or without the speed boost, sleep boost. Fuck me.
Uh, how long do I spend working on YouTube? I will be very conservative on how much time I spend, and I'll say like, in like maybe 6 hours, 7 hours out of my day working
That
on
is
YouTube.
way too conservative. You are fucking cap, bro. Baseball cap. Fuck you mean
Mm-mm.
6 hours?
I'm telling the truth, man. I'm telling the truth.
Okay, be liberal with it then.
10 or 12.
How is the disparity that big? How is it that big? You know you
Because some days it depends. Like some days I wake up at 4 and then stop working at like 12. And other days I work just at like 2 or 3 hours. Sometimes it can vary. Like the average is probably 8 hours.
I guess
But
it
like
depends on day.
I mean it just depends on what's going on. Sometimes I feel the backlash of like not going to sleep at the proper time.
Wait, but
Um,
don't you have like a semi-consistent like regular schedule though, like week to week?
yeah. Like I have a schedule of things I need to get done. Yeah,
Wait,
like
so
things by.
like you don't have something like gym days where you're like, okay, every Tuesday at 2 p.m. is gym time or something like that?
I mean, usually that's very late. Like those times are very late for me, so they don't interfere with like the amount of work I do. Um,
Wait, you go to the gym
and
at night?
I don't like going near other people.
Huh. I don't know why, but that's so wild to me. Like I'm also a night gym person, but for me it's like out of necessity because that's just like when I'm free. But I've gone to the gym in the mornings before, and there's definitely like a nice vibe to going the morning on your day off, getting it out of the way for the entire day, going back home, showering, and just being like comfortable in the knowledge that that part of your day that you were dreading your entire week is now finally over.
Uh, I personally do it at night. One, I don't like being near other people. Two, it's one of the only ways I can sleep very soundly.
Johnny Star, I need me a Dua Lipa, don't we all? though though I'll watch like cartoon animations, depends on the game. I like watching
What's
sometimes.
up, though, Johnny? What's up, though?
I like watching those sometimes, but usually it's for memes or reliving a moment for me. Man,
Hold on. Do you like videos count as like a medium? Are we kind of
like YouTube
are videos
videos?
like a yeah, like YouTube videos? Are YouTube videos a medium?
Yes,
And if so, where are you ranking that medium
S tier.
relative to other mediums? So like higher or lower than like TV shows?
Higher.
Higher? Interesting.
I'll tell you why.
Okay, okay.
And people might hate me for this take, but I think YouTube videos are exactly the kind of content humans are meant to consume. Like in a way that almost that like I'm having trouble describing, but like the thought of explaining your thesis at the beginning and your entire video like being a justification for that thesis in like a very like connective tissue kind of way is just something that I personally find way more enjoyable and way more approachable than uh something like a movie. Like there's this like thing that I despise, and it's me being psychotic. You know, it's one of those moments. You know, you already have experience with me getting like this, so I don't even need to warn you. Um,
Of course.
yeah, but I have this like very 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 specific thing that I hate. This like convention, if you will, and that is the first 5 minutes of anything that isn't a YouTube video.
Okay.
Absolutely despise
Gotcha.
it because it always starts the fucking same, and I can't stand even the thought of it. And that is this. And I'll give you okay. Here's a manga example, or anime example. It doubles up. The first panel or scene starts with the sky. Fucking repulsive to me. Hate it with every fiber of my being. fuck that panel, fuck this guy, fuck you for writing that, you unoriginal hack. Sorry, had to get that off my
Interesting.
chest, right? For me,
How you fucking with YouTube if you care about originality, man?
no, just let me get this off my chest,
All right,
right?
I'll let you spit. I'll let
Okay,
you spit.
okay.
I'll let you spit.
So, ideally for me, the best way a series can start is just to fucking start. I'm saying I don't give a shit about the birds in the sky. I don't care about the wind. I don't care about the kids playing outside. I don't care about any of this crap, bro. Show me the characters I'm meant to care about. Show me the stakes I'm meant to care about. Show me and present day too. I'll take a flashback over starting with the flashback. I want to be fully into it, commit 1 billion% into it, like right off the rip. Best intro that does this well is the One Punch Man intro. Automatically, villain comes in, Saitama's there, you get it. Awesome.
Unrelated. Do you have ADHD? You think?
I might unironically have undiagnosed ADHD. Yes.
Very possible. Very possible. Just
I,
curious.
but you like you've interacted with me enough to like probably make an
I mean,
honest.
because I have very similar quirks. Existing in silence is like legitimately a sort
It's
of like grading experience
yes,
for me.
it like hurts. It's been
Um,
like never when I'm doing it, but always at the thought of potentially doing it. You're right. Like it's always the build up that
yeah.
scares me more.
Yeah. I think existing in silence, is just not very fun. But to not push back on your point because it literally is just how you consume media. I I think I can really fuck with a good preamble, bruh.
The
It just
mix
depends. It just depends because I feel like preamble can set the tone.
someone
Um,
who this sounds like something someone who watches vids on 2x speed would say. Bro, spit. I only watch on 2x speed. How'd you know?
bro, yeah, he does. I feel like you've told me
Yeah,
that you put it on 2x speed, but like you have like a
a
Chrome
plug-in.
extension that
Yeah,
puts it higher, right?
yeah. It's
Yeah, so he
for
doesn't even just watch it on 2x speed. He watches it like he just amplifies it more.
like because I just don't like hurry the fuck up. It's one of the like I'm just first of all I'm naturally just kind of impatient when it comes to like consuming stuff, but also I don't like tension. I despise the feeling of tension in every aspect of my personal life, and then it's like make that triple, quadruple, 10 billion% when it comes to shit I consume. Right? I despise the feeling. It's why I think horror is the worst genre. Don't have the constitution for it. Couldn't be me, dude. Like when it comes to movies that have any kind of like here's like a milder example, right? That isn't so direct. In reality TV shows or like cooking shows, they do this thing where like they take these long breaks between commercial setups. So they're like, and the winner is they
And
stop,
then
yeah,
dun,
commercial,
yep.
and then they come back, and the winner is, and then they finally reveal it.
Hmm.
Despise that.
I
It,
mean, I don't think anybody likes it, but I feel like tension is like integral to like good
I
storytelling.
know,
I don't
which
think
is why it's so
good
frustrating.
yeah.
For me, it's like a wholly necessary evil. And speaking of like, this aspect about myself, since we got on here, one of the reasons that I made this tweet about I know I'm going to like Chainsaw Man is because of everything I've heard about it. The fast paced like nature of it seems like it's right up my alley.
The thing about Chainsaw Man though is it's very fast paced. Nah, I think you'll fuck with Chainsaw Man.
Yeah,
I'm not
bro.
gonna lie.
Like
Yeah,
like
I think you'll fuck with Chainsaw Man.
like I just like that kind of thing, dude. Like
Nah, dude. So I have ADHD. Nah, I'm not gonna say I don't. I fucking hate when people do that and they don't know. I was about to say I have ADHD. I feel like I have certain ADHD tendencies. Like for example, like I said,
bro watches
when I used to
content
play
in the
video
Speed
games,
Force.
that's very funny. All the speed jokes are very
Yeah.
funny. But um,
Thanks, Johnny.
like
Go
for
on.
example, when I used to play video games, I used to watch like videos while I played video games, and sometimes I'd have music playing in the background just to like have like all of my senses actively being stimulated, or else it just wasn't like
Yes, me too.
interesting,
But
I
then
guess.
I realized,
Um,
unfortunately, because I might have ADHD, when it is silent and I'm able to focus and get started on working, I just forget or like I get distracted by those sounds and I have to turn them off to get any work done.
yeah, it's weird, but for me, like I don't know. I like I can appreciate a good fast-paced, quickly like nicely handled story or like a video. But there's also something about a motherfucker being long-winded that just kind of hits, bro.
Well,
Like, and I
don't
think because I think
mistake.
it's also because I'm long-winded as well,
True, but
maybe.
you shouldn't mistake speed for efficiency, because of I do like my favorite kind of content is like multiple hour video essays, right? But the reason those
True.
hit for me is because they're usually done over like, excuse me, an extensive amount of time planning, writing, research, editing, all of this, right? Because funny as it may seem, like big tinfoil hat moment, these people want you to watch the videos all the way through. Who would have thought,
True.
right?
Right.
So obviously they have to make sure that like the video isn't fucking boring. And when it comes to like the beginnings, especially for most video essays, it's a thesis paper. Like that's where the fucking word comes from. And I think if every series, every piece of work that I consume starts with its fucking main thesis and goes on, I don't care how much time it's going to take to get there, as long as I know like what I'm getting myself into, and I have like at least a baseline understanding of like, okay, this is where you should be at as the audience. I'm like, fucking sign me up, dude. I am listening. You have my full undivided attention.
Yeah. Let's see. I'm trying to think of an example of a Nah, see, I feel you. You know what? I feel you because hold on. Let me look this up real quick, just so I don't butcher the line. Let's see. And it sticks with me. It kind of gives me goosebumps because of how fucking crazy of a first line this is. Let me. So obviously, no fucking no surprise. I like Percy Jackson, right? Favorite
Mm-hmm.
piece of fiction, period. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I think, and like when I think about like, oh yeah, how do I like my introductions, right? Um, the way the Lightning Thief is introduced is just crazy, bruh. Like, when now this is gonna sound like very incoherent because if you guys don't fuck with the book as much as I do, it's not even gonna make. But to start off the book with like, and then like the main character
Damn it. Discord, not right now.
hero.
Say that one more time. You cut out.
Which part?
I didn't choose to be a demigod or something.
Look, I didn't want to be a half blood. That
Uh,
line. What happened? You not
yeah.
hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay, okay. That line gives me goosebumps, right? When Percy goes on to like monologue about like how if you resonate with any of this, right, you're in like grave danger and maybe a half blood. That shit goes crazy, bruh. Like, okay, imagine like revert your age in your mind a little bit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Imagine being because I was in third grade when I first read this, being like 8 or 9, and you're reading this story, and the first thing you see is like the main character didn't want to be what the whole thing is about. And you're just being told, like, dude, being what I am is dangerous, it's scary, it's all of these things, but I'm that, and I'm about to explain how.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, nah, Rick, nah, that's one of the, I feel like that's one of the best introductions I've ever like to a series I've ever seen because it's like it instantly. I feel like it's not super fast paced, but like it instantly. It's not even the thesis statement of the series either. I feel like it is just an engaging thing. Like it is just like the. It's like the hook of a YouTube video almost, right? It just instantly hooked me, and I felt like just enthralled in the world. I didn't know anything about these characters. Instantly hooked, and I feel like stories in general, typically the better your start, it is very reflective of your overall quality as a series, in my opinion. Because I think if you're competent at making the start of your series, you're probably just a competent writer in general.
Shout out
They're
Tokyo
probably just a
Revengers.
yeah, there are exceptions to the rule. There are exceptions. To be fair though, to be fair, to the author of Tokyo Revengers, I have my little tinfoil hat theory that because of Tokyo Revengers like massive success, like they were pressured into continuing it past what they initially thought. So that's my little caveat. I think the author's probably competent. They were just my guess, my hope is that they were forced. Wait, my hope. That sounds kind of crazy. For the author's sake, I guess, for my appreciation of the author, I imagine that they were probably pushed to
Dude,
um
isn't it
like work on
crazy
it
how
past.
big Tokyo Revengers is? Because I recently just found out about this, and the reason why it was like even on my radar is because I found out that it was getting an omnibus, and I was
Yeah.
like, that's for Tokyo Revengers? You know what I mean?
Tokyo Revengers outsells JJK and One Piece at times, like just
Isn't that
blatantly.
weird? That's fucking
Yeah.
weird, right?
It's just like nobody. It's weird because, and I don't like obviously I'm being hyperbolic, but like I see nobody mention Tokyo Revengers anymore, and
Yeah,
it's like
and
holy
it's like
shit,
if they
like
do, it's like bitter disappointment, like
yeah, I've never
disinterest.
seen a manga fall off harder than Tokyo Revengers type beat.
And then this, you look at the sales, and it's like, nah, bro, this is the fucking greatest piece of work since the Bible. Like for Tokyo Revengers.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I'm not one to say the series shouldn't be popular, whatever,
No,
blah
I
blah blah.
am. Fuck them. What are you? What are the people of Japan like? What are what's in the water, huh?
Dude, people in Japan just have like completely different tastes than we do, bro. That's just the thing I've come to terms with. Um, like that's just something I've had to understand. Like they just want completely different shit. Like
Like
Horikoshi, not being able to write villains in the way he wants to because like sales dip anytime he focuses on them. Like nah,
that's so
nah,
weird, right?
we just different for real.
Like
I'm not even gonna say their taste is worse. I'm just gonna say their taste is different. What they
no,
value from a
the
series is much different from what I value.
and the thing is, right? They seem to like the values change author to author, which is like so
Correct.
odd, right?
I mean,
Like
is it that odd? Like, is it really that odd to want a certain thing from a certain author? I don't think it's that odd. I don't think it's that weird.
I
Um,
do, because it's like what are you holding them to, right? Like how do you decide why Kubo can write Aizen as like whatever kind of villain versus somebody like fucking Horikoshi, right? Like what's the difference there? Like who, how do you decide that?
there's tone, there's art style, there's character writing. There's a lot of different things that like can lead to the implication that a story is not as overtly serious or dark or twisted. Um, so let's say you want to compare JJK and My Hero. How come Gege can get away with writing Mahito and Geto and Kenjaku and all that different stuff and have them be super twisted, but like Horikoshi can't write like a villain arc without getting a lot of backlash? Well, the reason is you look at JJK's first 10 chapters versus My Hero's first 10 chapters and you have your answer, right?
Mm.
Horikoshi writes a much more lighthearted, a much more happy-go-lucky initially story, which gives you the impression that this is a lighthearted hero story with
And
some emotional elements here and there, but it is generally speaking a lighthearted hero story, right?
it's so
That's
annoying
why.
because like
Yeah.
I really want manga authors to like see their vision through the way they intend, and every time I hear about stories like these, I get so bummed out because I'm like, how is Tabata supposed to write the greatest story ever told when people are like fucking bottlenecking him by making him write like Black Clover from 8 years ago instead of like the fucking Sanin masterpiece he's been writing this whole time?
Um. Yeah, that's definitely a take. Um. Yeah, that's definitely a take. I mean, the nature of like creating art to give to people is compromise. I feel like um I doubt that there is an artist that relied on other people to publish their work that didn't make a very hard compromise. Um
I guess. I
JJK is not what Gege wants 100%. My Hero is not what Horikoshi wants. Naruto isn't what Kishimoto wanted 100%. The Bleach is not what Kubo wanted 100%. It is a altered version of what they wanted. Sometimes it works out for the better, right? Like without an editor, Naruto wouldn't have Sasuke, or at least not in the capacity he does. It does now, and I feel like the series would have been much worse off for it. But in a lot of times, you restrict the author and force them to take these weird directions that they aren't equipped to do so. Even some of the most headstrong authors in the magazine will have to adapt and like fold under the pressure of their editors. And I think it's like, I mean, I think that's just the nature of self-published, right? Any
Yeah.
artist you know that relies on other people to get their work out there has made compromises, big or small.
Yeah, Cell
We make
wouldn't have had
compromises,
his
big or
perfect
small, when
form
we put
without
out
the
content.
editor. Sorry, yeah, Cell wouldn't have had his perfect form without the editor. Huh.
Uh, I know that Cell is, yeah. I don't think Cell as a concept would have existed without the editor.
See, that's
I heard that
interesting.
the yeah.
Go on.
But yeah, like I just think that like you as a content creator, you alter your content to fit YouTube, right?
Yeah.
You alter it to get views, you alter it to fit its guidelines, you alter it to fit like certain narratives and ideas. Like because you aren't self-published and like all these things, you have to uh alter your ideas in certain ways, right? Movies have studio input, right? They have different people that are like part of their art and part of their creation, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like certain tropes are necessary because if you don't implement certain tropes early on, your story is bound to fail and not reach the threshold of sales you need to keep working. So sometimes the very premise you come up with is not one that you would normally come up with, but it's one that you made in order to like feed yourself.
Gotcha. So still like I understand it. I'm just not thrilled about it.
I don't think bless you.
Thanks.
I don't think anyone really is. I think what separates probably good authors from like great and phenomenal authors is the ability to adapt under those circumstances. Because I think if you can make a good story with no controversy or adversity, you're a good author, right? You're solid. You got the fundamentals. You're solid in what you do, right? Everything you do with that is simply good. But if you're able to, with adversity, with editor input, with all these different changes they're forcing you to make, still make a well beloved story, still make a very well written, coherent, cohesive narrative, you are a great author. So like even though I've like been kind of bashing Horikoshi recently, at least in our podcast
Mm-hmm.
episodes, right? Um, I still have like an immense amount of respect for him as an author because when you put that context of this isn't what he intended, he is partially probably making this shit up on the fly. That's ridiculously impressive. That is stupidly impressive. I still have gripes with My Hero, by the way. I have gripes with a lot of things about the series, but I can also, on the other hand,
Respect the
really
skill.
respect
Yeah.
yeah, I can respect the ability to just come up with really intricate, well-written storytelling on
Yeah,
the
and I
fly.
think that we've been most consistent with our language regarding the Stars and Stripes thing. Like, it's basically the start of this podcast. Like, we've been saying it is the best possible execution on a terrible idea.
Exactly. It is literally like, damn, what you just did was you should not have done that. And Horikoshi is like, all right, I agree, but I did it already. Let's try to. How can we fix this?
And you're
How
like,
can we mitigate the damage? It's like I respect you mitigating the damage, but bro, you still set off the bomb. Like, what are we doing? Um,
uh, man.
but Doofy does bring up a good point. Editors can be important. Editors can also help direct your story into something that wouldn't have mainstream appeal and would not find an audience in something that would. So
Yeah, I guess they
it's
do
like it's not.
want you to succeed because it makes the company
Yeah.
more money.
Yeah, it's not. I don't think editors are all bad, but I think like being an editor is an art in the same way like being an author is. Like so some authors don't have very good editors, and that probably negatively impacts their narrative.
Yeah. Damn, dude. This was a fun stream, I think, near after we got over the Multiverse and Madness hump.
Yeah.
The discussion about me, the fucking self-diagnosed ADHD thing was a bit of a revelation.
Huh.
You know what? For both of us, fuck you. I'm including you in this ADHD diagnosis.
Maybe. I don't know.
I don't know.
How does one even? How do you figure out you have ADHD? Would you just go to the doctor and be like, "Yo, do I got
Yeah,
an
literally, like
attention deficit?"
you literally just have to go to the doctor, and be like, hey, can you
How
test
did
me
they?
for
How did?
ADHD? And then they
Wait,
test
how do
you.
they test? Would they get blood work or something?
I don't know. It's
Because I'm thinking, like, how do you test that? Like, right, you put a TV screen in front of me and like see if I start to get bored. Like, what are we doing?
my theory is they either give you a test or you just go in, you describe symptoms, and they're like, damn, bro, you got ADHD bad. Here's all the fucking perks you need.
Yeah, maybe.
Oh God,
Yeah, that's interesting.
because I know,
Either way,
like,
yeah.
a part of me doesn't want to because I don't want to know, because like I made it this far, like not this, knock wood, oh my God, but I mean like I managed to eke out some level of productivity every single day,
Hmm.
despite me being fucking crazy as it may seem. Um, and I feel like if I do the pills, then if I ever like stop taking them or choose to stop taking them, it's gonna basically make me catatonic. Again, knock wood, but like you know what I mean.
Yeah, yeah. You'll become reliant on them, basically.
Yeah.
I mean, can you not like get diagnosed and then still choose not to take the
I
medicine?
mean,
Like,
of
you don't have
course, but
to.
it's like I always see those
It,
tweets that are
it,
like,
it
"Oh my God, is this what all of you
yeah.
feel
Is this
like?"
is this
Yeah.
is this what it's like? Yeah, like is this how it is to function normally? And I sometimes I wonder, I'm like, hmm, do I function like? Am I one of those functioning normally? Here's the thing. I feel like I don't know, bro. It seems like almost everyone suffers from like very ADHD like symptoms.
Counterpoint. It just hasn't been
Hmm.
as widely diagnosed because there's been
There's a
stigmas
stigma around it.
and poor
Yep, exactly.
testing and poor testing for
Yeah.
children. Yeah.
That's
So,
that's. I mean, it probably is more common than like you would imagine.
mm,
Maybe I don't know. There may be just be it may just be a sliding scale of like how severe is it?
yeah. So, I didn't expect the podcast to end up being this introspective. I'll be honest.
Very introspective. Um, Speaking of introspection, when like is a symptom of ADHD like being in your own head a lot, is that something that like is that something completely unrelated? Is that just my own shit that I gotta like resolve?
Uh,
Bro, I'd be having arguments in here, bro.
oh,
I'd be I'd
100%.
be scrapping with myself.
Bro, sometimes I feel like I have like fucking like demons or some other people in here just like going back and forth.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Oh, you have an internal monologue, right?
of course. Fuck you
Okay.
mean?
You have like a couple little voices that you hear in your head and shit
Yeah,
like that.
I only think and speak to myself in voices. Like those, and I
Got you.
narrate when I read it, like I read in voices.
Got you. Got you. Um.
Yeah,
Yeah.
those people that are like, oh yeah, I don't have an internal monologue. I'm like, okay, then how do you function? Like,
Yeah. Like
how
I'm.
are
I'm
you
trying to. I'm trying
reading?
to like. It's like. Wait. How does it? How the fuck do you think? I will say though. I will say then. What when I read, I don't consciously make up voices. If that makes sense. It's something my subconscious does, and if I think about the fact that I'm reading and making up voices,
It takes me
I'll
right
fuck it
out.
up.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'll fuck it up. I'll be like, damn, I can't read this anymore
yeah, like
because now I'm making up voices, and it's just
yeah.
weird.
Weirdly, it happens randomly too. Like, and I won't even realize how into a story I am until that moment happens, and I'm like, whoa,
Yeah,
what? How long have I been here?
my gauge of how long I've been reading a story is how bad the headache I have is.
Oh
Um,
yeah, I
there,
feel that like wooziness sensation,
yeah,
but
dude.
it's weird. I never get it with manga though.
I man, manga has kicked. There is. I think the first time it happened for me, I was reading Domestic Girlfriend, which is pretty funny. And I was just blitzing through that manga, bro. And I was like, I looked away from my screen to grab a water bottle, and my vision blurred, and I was like, I'm done. I gotta go to sleep, bro.
Yeah, but
I'd been,
the
oof.
those novel like runs or whatever you want to call them. Ooh, they hit different. Like
Yeah.
staring at a bunch of text for hours on end, just text, no picture breaks. You with your imagination pull it like doing, excuse me, 100% of the legwork. Shit, dude. It's like
You get headaches reading novels?
I get like the sensation that I'm wearing somebody else's glasses. Like reality doesn't feel
Got
real.
you.
You know what I mean? Like,
Got you.
hey, yo, physical objects that don't have text over them that describe what they are. The fuck is this?
I know that I've read too long when I start like when I look at a page and I just start skipping over shit. I'm like, okay, I don't want to read anymore. That's
Yeah,
what it is.
yeah. I'm
Um,
like, this is getting too exhausting.
yeah, and I'll just fucking grab a random piece of paper, stick it in the book as a bookmark, and then keep my day moving.
Yes, sir.
Um,
Um,
yeah, dude. I man, I I don't know if I said this. Have I said this on like the podcast that I reread the Percy Jackson books like pretty recently in preparation for the show? I don't know if I said that.
yes. No, you said
Um,
it to me privately.
yeah, I knew, dude. When I was rereading like a book per day, I was like, damn it,
That's a feat, dude.
no. No, I'm reading too quickly. The binging experience ain't it hit, but like it was too quick, bro. I was done rereading all the books in like a week and a half.
Huh.
Ugh.
Man, I didn't expect to be this tired right now, though. Let me
Yeah.
rephrase. I didn't expect to be this tired going into the podcast.
I agree. We also started kind of late too, though.
I mean, we
We started
started
like
at 6 your time, right?
no, no,
7?
no. We started closer to 8.
No way.
Yeah, look at when you sent me the link. It should be 8:54 your time. When you sent me the link is about when we started stream. And
Yo.
yeah, we started about 8 o'clock.
Dude, that's crazy. What the fuck? Did I get home that late? Oh my god, I did. I got home at 7:50. Ugh.
But yeah, pretty late, pretty late.
Dude, I
Um,
basically literally like walked through the door. First thing I had to do was like get on stream because I was like delayed as hell.
yeah.
I will say though, this does confirm my theory that live streaming is like the barrier to action is way lower than TikToks, than YouTube videos, than everything because there's no editing phase.
I agree, but I also think being entertaining for like 2 hours straight is like
Exhausting,
it's
yes.
a it's just a I think it's just a different skill set all around.
I agree,
Um,
but also like compared to like sitting down and editing for 6 hours after shooting for 2 hours after scripting for like 8 hours. Um,
I don't know, bro. It do not take the I don't know. I don't know how you be recording for 2 hours. That's kind of crazy.
uh,
My recordings are measured in like 30 minutes or
well, that's
less
if they're
for the most part.
A, that's if they're scripted, and B, that's assuming you don't have a video that big to speak out. Like, I'm assuming your JJK0 review is like fucking massive in terms
God
of
damn.
recording.
Oh, I don't even want to think about that. My head hurts. My head hurts. Ah.
What's the raw footage looking
Yeah.
like?
I don't Bro, please don't make me talk about that. Oh, my head. My head already hurts thinking about the fucking weekly Shonen Jump video. By the way, I don't know if Doofy's still in here, but either one of you guys, just remind me to like send you guys what I have. I want to see how it paces out because
Bro, send it right now.
I don't want to open Premiere Pro while I'm on stream.
Oh
I don't
yeah,
want to
that'll.
I don't want to cut out like
All right.
I want to wait until it's we're in a less volatile state. All right, Doofy. Yeah, if you could, I'll probably send you guys the I have like 4 minutes straight of the video. I just want to see like how it paces. Is it funny? Am I like being unfunny?
Yeah,
Y'all will be the ones to determine it.
good shit. Just peep it in the group chat.
Yeah, I'll toss it in the group chat, but I don't want to open Premiere Pro, export it, and do all that shit like while on stream because
All right.
my computer will get cooked.
I feel you, brother.
Yes. Um, but yeah, is there anything else you wanted to talk about on stream? Any burning questions, burning topics?
Um, Not so much, except like my manga haul video. Small update on that. I'm gonna delay it until I get my next batch because those are the ones like of manga that I bought blind, right? These are
Okay.
because these are the ones I bought like that are just for my collection of things I've already read. Um, with one exception, and that's Solo Leveling, which I think I mentioned to you, but like I didn't mention it on stream.
Hmm.
And lastly, I also wanted to include the series I've been reading on Viz's app. So like digital are also included because man, I'm like about 100 chapters into World Trigger right now, and I can't imagine not talking about it.
Nice. I'm happy to see. I'm interested in seeing what that manga haul video looks like. I wonder how manga. You've never done one before, right?
No, first time.
I wonder how those perform. I don't know.
Me either, because like I've been watching all of Doofy's because I just gotten like interested in the genre. Which by the way, amazing sensation is like when you have a new obsession and you're like, oh shit, there's a whole new rabbit hole I can go down. Or
I love that. I
yeah,
love finding a new genre of thing, and then just like burning through it. Favorite
yes,
shit to do.
amazing or dystopian depending on what your philosophy is. But I personally fall in the camp of like a new interest. I get to like gorge myself. Little
Yeah,
Ishigori vibes we got going on.
for sure, for sure. Oh
Uh,
yeah, get the extra dessert.
Yeah. Honestly, like Doofy, there's this one Doofy manga haul that I just really fuck with in terms of like editing and pacing, and that's basically what I'm gonna try to emulate.
Gotcha.
Steal to use
Steal his content,
Yeah, bro, like you for real.
bro. I'm a thief. I'm a thief. I be stealing.
Bro.
I be seeing some cool videos, and I'm like, yeah, that's mine now.
Yeah.
Give
So
me some.
shout out Doofy for the template, the blueprint, if you will.
Huh.
Um, Damn, just got a massive drop off in fucking concurrent viewers. Did you see that shit? It went from like 23 to 9.
Damn, bro. They said L plus ratio live. Um,
But when I was doing all IRL manga content, clickbait titles, they did great. I don't know what kind of clickbait I'm gonna do. I might do some shit like normal, perfectly hinged video about manga or some shit like that.
Interesting. I'm ready to see it. I'm ready to see it.
Look forward
Um,
to your screams. Appreciate it, Doofy. I'm gonna try to make you proud. Honestly, um, what I hope I get across in my fucking video is do you remember the sentiment I made about Naruto's feet?
yeah.
Basically, I want to see like if I genuinely have takes like that to other people's ears. But like I wonder if my reasoning for other manga or buying them or and not buying them because I also want to mention shit that I was considering but didn't.
Mhm.
Um, as like equally fucking weird because to me, right, like these are like acceptable reasons, but to
Mhm.
somebody else, I'm assuming it's like kind of
Stupid.
psychotic, is also
Sure.
a
Fair enough.
synonym. Um,
Yeah.
so I want to see the reception to that.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Um, I think that's it. Fuck, dude. Do you have anything you want to say?
No,
Damn, I kind of hoped
I
you had something
don't.
to say. Giving me a little
I don't have
time.
anything to add. I mean, like, I don't really. I feel like we've been talking. This is like a 2 hour. This is a 2 hour podcast, which is like
Yeah, late at
longer
night
than our
too.
usual. Yeah. Like usually we're like around an hour, 30 minutes. Like we've gone up quite a bit over our usual like trajectory for
Yeah.
content.
And we definitely hit like a very dead space. Like we are not in prime time streaming hours right now. And personally, we're just not prime time performing hours either. It seems
Yeah, operating on fumes.
basically muscle memory at this point, and that's what you're
Yeah,
getting.
I just be talking, bro.
Yeah.
See, now if chat started saying some dumb shit, I'd probably be able to pop
No,
off.
bro,
My
but
my
like,
hater instincts would kick in,
no,
but
chat's like as tired as us.
yeah.
The chat rate right now is 0.
Mm.
That's how
Yeah.
like out of it they are. Like at
They
its
just listening,
peak, yeah, dude, at its peak it
listening
was
and
like
vibing.
4 or 5.
All
So
good though. Just listening and vibing is chill. But yeah, I think we'll have. Do we want to tell them when we're doing the next episode?
I
We
have,
do. Well,
we should talk about that at some point.
we
uh,
should.
I guess should we move our upload dates or stream dates now?
Probably to Sunday.
Yeah, because we could do it right after we read the chapters. That way, it's like fresh in our minds, and we get to like, you know, you know.
Yes, I know.
Capitalize on the hype train while it's fresh.
Oh, sure. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So we
Get
could,
it.
yeah, we could do that. So I think, and also Sundays are just probably. God, now that I'm saying it out loud, yeah, I really fuck with switching over to Sundays for the podcast, like especially for live streaming now, because Thursdays I get back from work, I'm fucking usually tired and I have stuff to do the following day, like early, and
Mm.
I'm assuming for you, you want to get either editing done or like streaming done on your own. Um, so I think moving over to Sunday just gives us like an honored one's day. You know what I mean?
For sure. And if we stream early, I have time to like recover for like my like the Twitch streams.
You're
So it
still gonna
works out, I
Twitch
think.
stream on Sundays? The
If
dishonor.
I if I have time to, like I'm not gonna stream today because if I started stream I'd be starting it at 10.
And also, you'd be
Uh
starting with like nothing in your gas tank.
yeah, sure, but my chat's stupid enough to like give me some fuel, I'm not gonna lie to you. Chat be saying just some abysmally dumb things. Um
Mm. All right.
so
So yeah, I guess this is our
yeah.
last Thursday upload for a while.
Nice. So wait,
Switching.
guys, I think I don't know.
Yeah. So I guess we're switching over to Sunday, starting this week. What?
Yes,
Yeah.
correct? Is that what yeah.
I mean,
What no better time to start than this week, I guess.
I think My Hero is back this week.
Mhm.
So, wait, am I crazy? My Hero is back.
Yeah, my hair
JJK
was
has a chapter. One Piece has a chapter, but you're not caught up. And also, one
thank God.
One Piece is on break next week, and I know it's already gonna be another fucking filler chapter. So, and since you don't read it, by the way, okay, this will be the last topic. But yes, Honored Ones move to Sunday, dude. I have to start finding series to like save, because I'm getting a little burnt out on like shitty weekly chapters, and this is basically almost exclusively a One Piece issue, but it can also be applied to a lot of other stuff. Like I think if without the podcast and like just you as like a friend, like off recording,
Off air.
yeah,
Mhm.
thank you. I'd probably want to like save up like 5 JJK chapters at a time and just binge it through, because the fights are sick, but damn, I'd rather get in at the end of the trilogy.
Yeah, I don't know, bro. I can barely survive getting one chapter to one chapter without being spoiled. I don't even like consider the fact. I
Yeah,
don't
but
even
like
like
that's
bother
because you're a JJK
dreaming.
like content creator. You know what I mean? Like if you weren't into JJK as like your channel's like backbone or whatever, right? Would you like want to read it week to week? Or, you would obviously, but like you know what I mean.
I mean, even with like I get the point you're making, but like I don't really make reactionary content all that much. Like
True, but
when
you
some
do have to be like up to date for things like feats if it's a character like Hikari, right?
I'm sure, but I'm not making a Hikari video anytime
Or
soon.
Yuta.
And
Take a look at Yuta. You made Yuta videos during his fight.
um, I don't think I did actually. I think I like, and the thing is also the YouTube videos you'll peep. don't they I don't require the current I didn't require that manga information in order to draw the conclusion. Um, so like if you see is Yuta the best character in JJK, CBR video, true source of Yuta's power, that's a video that I could go based solely off of Volume Zero. Most of the content I make is not very reactionary. Like obviously it's based off the source material, as you would expect, but like I could go weeks without reading JJK and be fine content wise. I'm more saying I can't avoid getting spoiled. Even I'm not caught up on One Piece. I can't I got spoiled on One Piece. Um I don't I'm not the biggest My Hero fan. I got spoiled on My Hero. Um I'm getting spoiled on different kinds of stuff. I get spoiled on almost every manga that like gets fan scans actually. So
Well, yeah. You know what you need to find some fucking fringe manga. You need to pull a doofy. You
I do
know.
be reading fringe manga. I just don't talk about it on Twitter.
Oh, for real?
Uh, yes.
You don't make videos about it either. Do you have purely like manga you read for joy, no content?
Uh, most manga.
Really?
Yes.
No way. Dude, I am just finding out about this with you. You know what I mean?
Uh, I mean, wait. Just look at you can look at my channel and see that that's the case. If you know that I read more than like 5 manga.
No. I mean like how fringe we talking here?
I don't know. I don't know how fringe certain manga are. Like I guess it just depends on who you are. Doofy's probably a read or knows of most of the series I read, so to him, they're probably not that fringe. But like,
Normie.
uh, I I read a lot of manga that are like I have no desire to make content on. I'm just like, damn, this was fire. I could if I wanted to. How it would do, I don't know, but I could make some content. But sometimes, a lot of the times, I just read something. I'm like, yeah. Don't you read? No, I don't. That's a Creams thing. Creams and Doofy thing. Not me though. I'm different.
You know if you used Annie list.
Yeah, true.
Wait, what's a creams and doofy thing?
Read the next chat after Doofy.
You don't read. Hey yo, listen. We all
Not we.
read that manga, right? We fucking love it. We if you will.
The new One Punch Man chapter was garbage. I don't like the fight between Garo and Saitama.
The
Pretty
fight.
bad, pretty lame.
Listen, this is coming from the biggest One Punch Man shill. I'm giving Ronan permission to say this right now, because gas prices are kind of crazy. So I'm waiting till he says something especially heinous to fly out there and teach him a lesson. But the only thing I can vouch for with what he's been saying is that One Punch Man's recent chapters just have not been very action packed. They've been very like set up, slightly less set up. We're almost there, you know. Where
Bro,
do
what have you been reading? These past chapters have literally just been Garo in Saitama throwing hands. The art
no,
looks good. It's just like this fight is not interesting.
no. Like I said, I don't think the fight started yet.
We
Yeah,
done. We pulling the trigger on the plug. I guess is a better
run, run up
phrase
his
for that.
credit. Let's go. You're just helping him build it up, dude. Thank you, like a real friend. All right. Uh, Thanks for watching, tuning in for the YouTube peeps, for the Twitch. Oh my God, for the YouTube live peeps. See y'all. Just to restate it, we are switching over to Sundays. Starting with this one. So shortest turnover between episodes ever, probably for them.
Probably yes. We'll see you guys later.
Yeah. Thanks for stopping by. Like, comment, subscribe. Get it all out right now. Bye.
Peace.